Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Art in the Stacks. Today we're going to do 3 different Christmas ornaments, and we have to-go kits here at the library for each one. You're welcome to come in and get one while supplies last. And if you don't make it in to get one, most of these supplies you will have at home in your craft supplies, or you can get from the dollar store. So the first one we're going to do, we're going to start with a Santa Claus, and this is just going to be piecing it together. You will need a hot glue gun for this. You could probably use Elmer's or craft glue, but the hot glue will dry quicker and I think be a lot easier. So I'm just making sure all of these are facing the right direction. They don't exactly line up, but that's okay because we're going to cover that part. So once you know all your reds are on the bottom and your face is on the top, go ahead and flip them over. And we're going to glue from the back. That way the glue, if it bleeds through, is on the back and not on the front. Let's go ahead and put them together and then put a glue strip. And just make sure that it's tight so you don't have any gaps in the front. Hold it a second and then it dries pretty quickly. And if it happens to go through to the other side a little bit, it's okay because it'll peel off. And the last one. If you ended up not getting a kit for this, these are just popsicle sticks and I painted them with some craft glue. Okay. Give that a minute to dry and cool. I think this side needs a little bit more. Okay, while that's cooling, I'm actually going to piece together the base of the next one so that y'all don't have to wait on me. Okay, this one is going to be a snowman. So you'll have to be a little bit more specific with your body because the hat is going to go at a slant. So use a kind of put these together and make sure they line up in the right direction. They should line up like that in a straight line, and again, they don't have to be perfect because they're going to be covered up. So flip those over, keeping them in order. Okay. And we're going to glue it together just like the last one. Okay, and again, I'm going to move on to the last ornament here while that cools off so I can flip it over. And as you can see, hot glue can be a mess. Okay, the last one we're going to piece together a little bit different. It's a Christmas tree. So you're going to have 2 long popsicle sticks and 1 short one. And it's really quick put together here. We just need a few dots of glue. One up on the top And then this goes on the bottom. It's a short popsicle stick. You could cut a long one in half, but these short ones are so easy, and it's just easier to get the smaller ones if you can. You do have to make sure you work quick enough that your glue up on the top doesn't dry before you get your pieces where they need to go. And since we don't have to flip this one over, we'll go ahead and put it together the rest of the way. If you have a kit here, you will get a star, and it has paper on the back. Go ahead and peel that off. And it's sticky on the back, but we want these to last, so I'm still going to put some hot glue underneath it. So you put your star on the top. If you're making this without one of our kits, this was a peel and stick kit from Oriental Trading probably, but you can probably find these at the dollar store. And then for the ornaments, we have little sequins, and these did come from the dollar store, but you can use anything you have at home that's small. You could use buttons or beads or anything like that. I'm actually going to go ahead and put the hot glue on the tree and then put the sequin on top so I don't burn myself. And if your hot glue gets stringy, just ignore it. You can peel it off later. I just had an idea. If you have some like green twine or even brown twine at home, you could, or red, you could take it and wrap it around the tree like this to give yourself some ribbon. Once you have the ornaments on, just another idea as you're working from home. That part will not be included in the tree, but if you want to do it at home, you can. The sequins like to stick together. I think I'll put a couple on the bottom, and that will be enough. Let's do one here. And one in each corner. You may end up with extras beyond what you want to use, and that's okay. So the next thing is the trunk, and I just eyeballed these rectangles. If you want to trim it up and make it smaller than what it is, feel free to do that. If you're doing this at home without one of our kits, I just Googled glitter background and the color I wanted and printed it out on cardstock. So this was just a brown glitter background. You could also do that to make the star if you don't have a star at home. and glue that to the bottom. And once it's all cool and dry, then peel off your extra glue strings, or leave them there if you want to make it look like ribbon. And then we also, the last thing on this one I forgot is the hanger so that we can hang it. And the string that we gave you is probably longer than what you want to use, so feel free to trim that. Make sure you leave it long enough. I didn't have a scissors over here, so I'll just trim it up later. But make sure that you do leave it long enough that you can hang it on your tree as an ornament. You know, sometimes I get strings on ornaments that are not quite long enough. And then I'll trim that up later. So there is the tree. Okay, let's move back to Santa Claus, back where we started at the very beginning. My glue here is dry, so we're going to flip him over. And let's go ahead and add his hat. Just put a string of glue up on the top. And this is another Google search of red glitter background printed on cardstock if you're doing this from home. And I would take your cotton balls and kind of pull them apart. They're actually made into like a circle. You can unroll them. So you may end up with more cotton balls than what you actually need. But we don't really need it to be as thick as what they come. And we want to frame his face. This part is actually going to be the poofy on the hat. And this I'm going to use as the ball on the top. If you have white pom-poms, you could use a white pom-pom on the top, but I don't have white. So the cotton ball works just as well. Now we need to add his eyes. I have Google eyes. If you don't have Google eyes and you're doing this at home, you could also just paint your eyeballs with paint. Or you can find them at the craft store or the dollar store. Oh, I already have one in there. And he needs a jolly red nose. This is a red pom-pom. Or you could use a red button. Okay. And now we need to give him his white fluffy beard. We're going to use some cotton balls again. And this is going to go here on the side. And then some on the other side. And of course he needs some on the bottom too. There we go. Now he's starting to look like Santa Claus. And I have black buttons for his shirt. If you don't have buttons, you could use beads, or you could paint them on there. Okay, there's our Santa Claus, and we need to add his string just like we did the other one. Let me flip him over so you can see what I'm doing on the back. Oh, it's glued to the table. And I would attach the string to the wood popsicle sticks on this one and not the cardstock. I think it'll hold up better. Kind of push it into the glue so it's nice and strong. And it's actually good that this is longer since the hat is sticking up there. Okay, so there's our second one. That is our Santa Claus ornament. And make sure you flip them back over for that string to dry. Okay, so the last one, we're going to finish Frosty the Snowman. We need to give him the rest of his hat. Here's another short popsicle stick that was painted in black. It'll go right there on top. Cover up that edge that's not perfectly straight. And then I'm going to add a snowflake sticker. And again, I'm going to add some extra glue to this. And this is something you can find at the dollar store if you're doing this from home. And I'm going to go ahead and make his face, that way I don't put the scarf in the wrong spot. If you're doing this from home, you will still have to find a Sharpie or something to add the face, because the Sharpie is not included in your kit. So make his eyes. I'm just going to make them small and simple. And his nose. So his nose is orange and glittery. If you're doing it from home, you can either paint a nose on or you can print something on cardstock. I actually cut this out of a glittery flower. It's a petal, but it's going to work perfect for the nose of Frosty. And then give him a mouth. If you have tiny buttons, you could use those too. Okay, now we can put his scarf on easier. And this is glittery foam with a sticker back, and it was actually a full sheet with other patterns, and I just trimmed this off of the edge. But you could use ribbon if you're doing this at home, or you could use paint and just paint him a scarf, or fabric. It's a scarf, so you can be creative with it. So I'm going to make one piece come out straight here, and then we want it to look like it's getting wrapped around. So this one's going to go on at an angle right here on top. And I don't have the scissors on me, but if you're at home, you can go ahead and cut little slits here to make it look like it's fringed on the end with the yarn, or you can leave it as is and it'll be just fine. And then give him some buttons. I included different colored buttons in the kits. The scarves are different colors as well, so they'll be a little bit different. If you're at home, feel free to put any color button that you have and add those to the bottom. Then we're going to need the back of this one. And we'll glue it on just like the others. And then I'll flip it over and you can see all three of these together. So there are our three ornaments. Come come in and pick up a kit while supplies last. And if you don't get a kit, you can find all of these supplies at your home or at the dollar store or the craft store. So enjoy your craft, and I hope you make some fun memories. Bye!